a nostalgic look back at the baby boomer generation growing up in Lafayette. Remembering when our world was smaller both literally and figuratively, when days seemed to stretch endlessly before us, and the biggest decision was whether to ride your bike down to Baskin-Robbins for ice cream or catch crawdads in the creek. That was our Lafayette, our hometown when the Park Theater was still open and a matinee on the weekend cost 2 bits and your parents dropped you off with an extra dime to buy candy, a soda or popcorn, not worrying much about your safety. In those days, Lafayette wasn't just a place, it was our neighborhood. It was the sound of dogs barking as your friends called you outside to play. It was collecting bottles as you wandered downtown, knowing you would get 3 cents apiece for them. Money you could spend at the Lafayette pharmacy to buy a cherry phosphate or a comic book, or if you saved up a bit, a slingshot or a model at the La Fiesta variety. Where the guys at Lafayette Hardware, where my dad had an account, would sing the Harrigan and Son song every time any of us kids walked in. Geez, how I hated that song. Lafayette School's Westival and the Spring Hills Roundup carnivals were highly anticipated with decorated bicycle parades, horseback riding, balloon darts, and game booths, all promising a rip-snorting good time. And when we got a little older, after obtaining that golden ticket called a driver's license, the lure of Walnut Creek's Main Street cruise drew many there on Friday and Saturday nights to show off our rides, hoping to attract persons of the opposite sex. Sneaking past barbed wire fences under the cover of darkness to go swimming at the not yet open to the public Lafayette Reservoir, hoping your absence had gone undetected, and after it opened in '66, fishing for bluegill or maybe renting a boat there. Hanging out at the Chaps Drive-In, enjoying your burger fries and a soda on their outside picnic tables, and coming up with a plan to soap the fountain in the middle of Mount Diablo Boulevard, which is still there today serving as a planter, the city having long ago given up on its use as a fountain. The family did not go out to dinner very often, but when we did, El Charro with its cactus gardens, rustic ambience, and cheese dip was a very special treat. As a teen, a first date might have been taken to Flavio's, Mr. Steak, the Melting Pot, or Freddy's Pizza. All long gone now, but the memories of those special times and people will remain with us forever. We went to Lafayette's grammar schools where during recess we would play kickball, hopscotch, climb the monkey bars, and race each other on the 50-yard dash. We brought lunch to school in a bag, our special lunch box, or if we were lucky enough to have been given a little lunch money, we could get a hot lunch at the school cafeteria. And if we were really living, we would have enough change left over from lunch to buy an ice cream bar from the cafeteria vending machine. Not all was fun and games, of course, as there was a scary side to growing up during the Cold War, but at least we had Bert the Turtle, the star of the official U.S. civil defense film, telling us how to duck and cover to make it seem a little less ominous. A look back today at those duck and cover civil defense exercises conducted during the Cold War, primarily in schools, to teach children how to react in the event of a nuclear attack. The drills involved students hiding under desks or against walls, covering their heads and necks, as a way to protect themselves from the initial blast and its effects. These drills, while iconic, are now considered to have been ineffective in protecting against a nuclear attack, though they did offer some measure of protection against conventional weapons. We listened to the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, Beach Boys, Bobby Darin, Santana, The Doors, Elvis, Joplin, and 100 others belting out our favorite songs on the family car's tube radio once it warmed up, or on a cheap transistor radio made in Japan. Before buying a record, we could go to Campana's music booths to preview its songs before committing our limited spending cash. I'm sure every generation probably says it, but the music we grew up with was the absolute best. We had the abandoned Sacramento Northern Railroad tracks where we could ride our bicycles, race around on homemade go-karts, or a cobbled back-together old motorcycle that could not legally be ridden on the street. There were open fields to explore that would soon become new housing developments where we collected lumber scraps we used to build forts. There were cow pastures and grassy hillsides to slide down or have dirt-clod wars, and the creeks and drainage pipes were our back roads. Places that we could go to explore new worlds and just get away from it all. We learned the value of money by having to earn it washing windows, getting up every morning at 5 a.m. to do a paper route, babysitting, pumping gas, mowing lawns, bussing tables at a local restaurant, etc. Lessons that would serve us well as we reached adulthood. Last slide. No one really warns you about this part of adulthood. The part where you start to feel homesick, not for a house, but for a moment in time. A version of life that doesn't exist anymore. A place you can't return to and a feeling you didn't know you'd miss so much until it was gone. I found this quote on my Facebook feed, and it certainly describes how I suspect many of us feel about life as we have gotten older. And for me, at least, it also describes why I enjoy sharing memories with you on these groups. You can't go back, of course, but it is comforting to share the good and sometimes not so good times with your contemporaries. Thank you for that. Many thanks to the members of the Facebook groups I have been so fortunate to have been a part of and enjoyed so much over the last decade. This short clip, of course, barely scratches the surface of what it was like to have grown up in Lafayette when we did, and I hope folks will add their favorite memories as comments to this post. Just a note on the AI voice I use on many of my short videos. This one is called Alloy Turbo, and I use it as it speaks most of the words more clearly than the others I have used. Photos from the producer. The members of the Lafayette and 68024 Corridor History Facebook groups, the Lafayette and Contra Costa County Historical Societies, Google, and Wikipedia. Written by Mark Harrigan, who thanks you very much for watching.